Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to What You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Ulysse Nardin Maxi Marine Chronograph, 41mm in stainless steel. You can see this marine chronograph on our website, whatyouwant.com. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, What You Want Inc. You can also click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of this video at any time for our full listing of this watch, featuring additional photographs, accessories included, and of course complete pricing details. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this marine chronograph really does cut a stance that is distinctively Ulysse Nardin. The watches from the brand with strong maritime heritage really resemble nothing else in Swiss high horology. Very distinctive. You know at a glance that you're looking at a Ulysse Nardin, and a Ulysse Nardin marine at that. Now the marine chronograph here has robust presence without being oversized in the modern sense. 41mm across the round of the case, not including crowns, crown guards, or pushers. It's 14.5mm thick and quite sheer across its flanks, so it's not likely to slip under the tightest of long sleeves, but you should be okay with sport jackets or blazer cuffs. Now the watch is a fairly reasonable 48mm from extremity of lug to extremity of lug, with the only possible complication coming in the form of a conforming end-piece strap that has a little bit of a tendency to flare outward where it abuts the end of the case. That is to say, it won't pull straight down around the curve of a very small wrist, but even if your wrist is as small as 15 centimeters in circumference, you should have little difficulty wearing this watch with security and style. Now the form of the case is actually a bit deceptive. Although it does feature a prominent round portion, it does have the stance of a cushion on the wrist, which is to say, it is quite tall in addition to being broad, and the large extended lugs, essentially grafting the form of a miniature vintage marine chronometer at center to extended cushion-style lugs, gives the watch a very secure fit when it is on the wrist. Now the seamless blend from extended lug into the strap is quite elegant, and it results in a very cohesive appearance. Ulysse Nardin also makes sure to use a very robust strap. It's generously bolstered as it abuts the lugs themselves, so there's a seamless visual blend even in profile. Now screws are used to retain the lug. This is an impressive and actually more expensive method of fixing a strap to a lug than you find in the more typical spring bars, but it is more secure, and given that this is a fairly heavy sports style watch, it's much appreciated. It's a measure that's appreciated by the owner because it's more secure, and also because being more expensive, it doesn't reek of cost cutting. Well done by Ulysse Nardin. Now other elements that speak to the quality of the entire assembly are the high-grade strap, which is monotone stitch, heavily bolstered rectangular alligator leather on top, smooth calfskin on the bottom, and the beautifully finished double deployant twin trigger actuated clasp. Now it's fully finished inside with a combination of frosted interior and polished swing arms, and it's quite attractive. Now the double deployant factor means that it is easier to fold around a smaller wrist. It doesn't have that single large up and over of a single fold. It also has the security of a twin trigger, so it's not friction fit. And when it is closed, because it is so low in profile, it does have the look, when fully buckled to the other side of the strap, of a delicate vintage pin buckle. So with a low profile, it has classic elegance in spite of being a very substantial deployant. But it is the dial itself and the beautifully coined bezel that sets the Marine apart. Now, the Maxi Marines from 2003 took the essential Ulysse Nardin Marine-style wristwatch, that is, taking the image of a 19th century Marine chronometer and transposing that imagery onto a wristwatch. The Maxi Marine took that imagery and added sports-style illumination to the dial. So with fully luminescent indices and Arabic, or rather Roman numerals, as well as cathedral hands at center, this is a sports watch. You can see it in low light or no light, and it does feature the signature of any great sports chronograph, a tachymetric scale around the outer circumference. It actually doubles as a rehaut that aids in the transition from the very spare bezel, and you can see that from head on, the bezel almost disappears completely, down to the beautifully cream-colored dial. Now there's a great deal of texture, height, and different colors and materials at play on this dial. You can see the beautifully blued hands as well as Roman numerals and indices. You can see the gorgeous countersunk sub-registers. You can see that transition from bezel to rehaut to dial base, and then there's a sunken inner silvered metallic center dial with applied Ulysse Nardin anchor marquee. It's beautifully composed and it's beautifully measured so that it feels neither crowded nor austere, just very warm, very distinctive of Ulysse Nardin. Now the watch does include a automatic chronograph caliber with 57 joules. It's a combination of an ETA 2892A2 ultra-thin automatic caliber with the Dubois de Praz vertical clutch chronograph system. So you actually have the best of the best in two senses: ETA, movement powerhouse, and Dubois de Praz module extraordinaire. Now the chronograph has a very smooth startup, stop, and reset because Dubois de Praz does use a vertical clutch mechanism to engage the hand. Now because there is no additional lateral clutch mechanism to wear down when engaged, if you prefer to have center seconds to match hours and minutes at center, you can just leave the chronograph running with no real hazard to the movement. There's no additional wear because of the vertical coupling. It also stops, starts, and resets smoothly because of that. Now the watch does feature 200-meter water resistance, so if you put it on a textile strap or Ulysse Nardin's accessory bracelet, you can go in the water with this Maxi Marine chronograph. This is a watch designed for summer. Light in color, it has a sort of sense of fun to it. Vintage inspired, it's not slavishly retro. It's a modern take on a historic tradition that manages to be all its own. You can see it, and you can purchase this Ulysse Nardin Maxi Marine chronograph on our website, watchyouwant.com.